Welcome to the Windows Computer and Technology channel, and a lot of talk about what's coming up and Windows 12 particularly. One of the things that I probably get every week is the question of why does Windows 12 why is Windows 12 a thing? Why do we need Windows 12? And it is interesting. We got Windows 10. 10 for a long time we thought was pretty much the version of Windows that was just updated all the time. And we had this idea and we talked about it many years ago, actually, on this channel, about how about Microsoft just create one thing called Windows, no more number, and that thing is updated once a year with added new features and continue. Like the idea behind Windows 10, basically. We can update this. The way that it's done is different from the past where there was a limit. Windows 7 reached its limit. It could not be updated like Windows 10 was because it was not built on the same basic code and modules that they decided to do Windows 10 with. They had changed the way Windows was in Windows 10 to be able to just update and make sure that as we go through time, they could have changed anything in it. Now, Windows 11 arrived, big surprise, and it arrived actually 2 years ago, exactly this month, because that's when it was revealed to the world that Windows 11 was a thing. And now we're talking about Windows 12. Every new version of Windows, a lot of ranting. Windows 11 has more ranting probably because of its minimum requirements. This is, once again, the thing that a lot of people I think, have a hard time with is the minimum requirements that Microsoft decided to actually add to Windows 11. And that will probably be the case with Windows 12. And, it's a valid question. Why do we need Windows 12? Well, if we look on the Microsoft side of things, they need Windows 12. They need Windows 12 because they need to kind of, it's funny because it was always like that. It's still like that. They need Windows 12 because Windows 12 will be a new Windows. And what I mean by that is that even if it doesn't offer that much new features, when people go to the store to buy a PC, what do they ask? They ask, is that the latest Windows? A lot of people will do that because they want to have the latest thing. Of course, a lot of people are going to ask, can I have it with Windows 10? And that's kind of not possible pretty much anymore on a lot of the newer devices as the drivers are not there. But a lot of people, when they buy it, I want the latest thing. And the latest thing means I want the latest Windows. It's part of how I will understand that, I got the latest machine. And it makes more money for Microsoft. So definitely, of course, Microsoft is a company there to make money. When I see people, it was like, well, Microsoft just wants to make money. That's the purpose of Microsoft and of pretty much any business. So for me, that's not even a question, and that's not even, I don't even understand the comment because it's the way it is. That's the way it is. That's all. But, of course, as a standard user of Windows, we start looking at, why do we need all these changes? And it's a valid question because for the user and for a lot of people, you just want things to work. And of course, Windows 10, people don't understand, why should I move on? Why will I be forced to move on to something else? And yeah, I know. I understand totally because you're in your safe place. You're in a system that works, that does what you want. Why would I need something else? And for most standard users, that is more of a problem moving on to other versions of Windows. With the Windows 10 operating system and even Windows 11, the way they created these systems now, it's less relevant to have a new Windows because what happens is simply we can update these now in a way that they always have the new features and the new look and the new feel. You know, they could have slapped the Windows 11 look on Windows 10. They would have been able to do it. It's partly what they've done actually on Windows 11, but they decided to create a new branch and call it Windows 11. And there's a category of users that are enthusiasts like me that kind of like the new stuff. You know, I am, for one, you know, partly excited and waiting for Windows 12 to see what it looks like and what it's going to be like. But, you know, a lot of us are different. A lot of people following this channel are different from the average user of Windows. But it's totally relevant. The question is totally relevant that why do I need Windows 12 or why do I need Windows 11 as if you're running Windows 10? For most people, there's no real reason. And you're totally right about that. But Microsoft wants us to move on and push on. So what they're going to do is, you know, they're just going to say, well, there's a new version of Windows and that version of Windows expires and that's it. And that's what's happening. You know, Windows 10 end of life, October 2025. And Windows 11, there's no official date yet. If it follows a 10-year, like every other operating system, technically would be good to go until about 2032, technically. But you know, it's up to Microsoft to decide what they want to give as a time frame for each version. And Windows 12 is coming, whether you like it or not. We'll have changes. We'll have new way of doing things. A lot of people don't like that, but Microsoft, I think, feels the need to, you know, have that going on so that they can sell more Windows. And at the same time, you know, there was always this partner, Microsoft and partners thing, where a lot of manufacturers of PCs were waiting for Microsoft to do a new Windows because they knew it would also increase PC sales. And that probably still happens today. But it's kind of interesting. And you know, I think we got used to the Windows 10 idea where we kept our PCs for a very long time and lost the impression of or the, you know, the idea that, like before Windows 7 and Windows XP and Windows 98, you had to buy new PCs pretty much. Very often you had to buy new PCs to get a new Windows if you wanted that Windows to work decently well. Of course, there were some powerful PCs. I always purchased pretty powerful machines, so I could move on to, you know, from Windows 98 to Windows XP on the machine I had back then, because the machine was powerful when I got Windows 98. It was capable of Windows, you know, XP, and so on. You know, some machines are so powerful at the end of Windows XP, they could move on to Windows 7 without any problems. But Windows 10 kind of took away that idea, and we started having something that you know, probably most people liked. The fact that, hey, you know, they're not changing much of their minimum requirements. Windows 10, we're continuing. We're having new features, and I can still use my, you know, 6, 7, or 8-year-old machine. It still works. And you know, in the perfect world, that would be the best idea, because you could keep your machines as long as you want. But that's not the way and not the direction that Microsoft is going. If you enjoy my videos, please subscribe, give us thumbs up. Thank you for watching.